Awesome. So, what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about the course. Okay. We're going to talk about the travel portion to India as well. Then we're going to learn a little bit more about what you would be doing in India as part of the course. We're going to go over costs and financial aid. How does that work in a general sense? And then we're going to talk about important dates. Okay, from now until getting on the plane, what is there to do, right? We're going to then wrap up with how to apply, and then we will have time for Q&A as well at the end. So with that, I'm going to let Dr. Donovan take it away. And if you need me to slow down with slides, let me know, okay?
Sure. Yeah. So again, I'm Dr. Jeremy Donovan, Assistant Professor of Mathematics Education. I'm one of the co-leads on for this trip. My partner in crime is Professor Sam Hilbert. She's an Assistant Professor Special Education. We both did this trip together last summer, and then we're looking forward to doing another trip next summer. So this experience will really give you a chance to explore how education connects with culture, equity, global perspectives. Over the 16 days in southern India, you'll teach and learn at a rural ashram school, an international school in urban Bangalore, and collaborate with faculty and students at a university in Kerala. So through hands-on experience, cross-cultural dialogue, and guided reflection, you'll deepen your cultural competence, strengthen communication skills, and develop a global understanding of inclusive and equitable teaching. This really will be a transformative experience that will broaden your worldview. And so this, I think you went over can you go back one slide? Yeah, sorry, no, with the map. Sorry about that. So this trip is kind of set up in two parts. The first half of the trip, we will fly into, or excuse me, the experience, we'll fly into Bangalore. There, we'll spend time in two different types of schools, which I'll describe in just a minute. And then after that, we'll hop on a plane and fly over to Kerala for the second half of the trip. And there we'll get to see we'll get to see the Indian Ocean or the Arabian Sea. They're both the same thing. And visit some universities and things like that, which I'll get into more details later on. But so for the Bangalore part, we will visit what's called a traditional ashram school, and we'll actually stay on the campus at the ashram school itself and work with kids at that school. And then we'll move over to Aditi School. It's an international school in Bangalore, and they have an entire K-12 school campus there that we'll get to interact with students of all ages. We'll do some excursions while we're in Bangalore, one of them being a guided safari where we get to see elephants, tigers, lions. There's a zoo there as well and a butterfly park. And then we'll head over to Kerala where we'll get to see a palace. There's a tea gardens that we're hoping to get to see, which is, I believe, on it's set up against the Western Ghats Mountains range, if my memory serves me correctly at this moment. But yeah, so let's see, where are we at? So this 2-week study abroad program offers pre-service education students a unique opportunity to explore the intersections of education, culture, and social change in India. Across both rural and urban settings, students will get a firsthand insight into how community and context shapes education practices. Okay, I'm going to the and then students that are eligible, it's open to education students. And we had social work students. I also had a biology student go with us last summer. It really is open to most students, really, as long as you're willing and interested in teaching and learning with children. I think that would be one of the main things that or it is one of the main things that would be expected of you while we were there. Okay, so what'll happen is this winter semester, winter 26, you'll sign up for ED 380, which is a place-based field experience course. We'll meet as a group, and through all those classes, through the course itself, we'll do some logistical things, talking about passports, visas, preparing for travel, but we're also going to investigate culturally responsive teaching techniques, social engagement in an international context, how education systems and social services intersect with poverty, language, and identity in global communities. We'll do some stuff on disorienting dilemmas. That's a big thing that disorienting dilemma is really a moment when something doesn't fit your prior understanding of how the world works. It disorients you because it forces you to question what you thought you knew. This will happen when we're abroad, and it's vital to address those kinds of things and get us prepared for those types of moments. But that really will be important to increasing your intercultural competence as we go through. And then at the end of the semester, leading up to the summer, you'll just get a Y grade, which doesn't, it really is just holding on to your grade. It doesn't, nothing shows up in your transcript until I finally put an official grade. But once we go on the trip and come back and finish up all the reflection projects and things like that, then you'll get your final grade for the course. So that's kind of how that works. Some of the assignments that we'll have, you have class participation, there's pre and post reflections. We will, as a group, lesson plan, prepare for the things that we'll do, and then you'll do what's called a digital storybook project for your final project, and that is while you're abroad, you'll use your camera to capture important moments that impact you as you're abroad, and then when you come back, you create this 3 to 5 minute video that kind of really just sums up how the trip impacted you as a person. Let's see. So while we're in Bangalore, we will stay at the ashram school, like on their campus. When we're at the Aditi school in Bangalore, that we'll get an Airbnb that we'll stay at. And then the same thing once we get over to Kerala, it'll be Airbnbs and possibly university housing while we're there. And so just some key takeaways is you get some hands-on teaching, some cultural engagement, collaborative activities, and academic exchange. And really what I mean by that is just this reciprocal moments that will happen where you'll be learning and teaching, but at the same time, you'll be working with students, but you'll be learning from them. They'll be learning from you, things like that. And then here's a picture of the group. There's some pictures of the group that went this past summer. You can see Dr. Hill on the top picture. You can see Dr. Hilbert on the front right corner, bottom corner, and then there were 12 students that went with us, and just a couple of the shot of the students in the bottom left picture is at the ashram school that we worked at. And then I believe this.
All right, so I'll give you an overview of what's up on the screen. So on the extreme left, you see the map of India. So Kerala is on the south west side of Kerala, that is blue. And this would be the second part of the program. And within the Kerala, the two areas that we would be focusing would be at the bottom, that is called Thiruvananthapuram, which is a capital of the state, that is Thiruvananthapuram. And the next green on the top, right there, it says as Ernakulam. The green there. These would be the two locations that we are facing. So Ernakulam has a lot of private public institutions. While you are in Kerala, you will be visiting a lot of at least 2 or 3 teacher education colleges, and also visiting private and public schools. Whereas when you get to Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram, you will be visiting some schools, but mostly the focus would be to meet with the people from the ministry. So the policymakers, the administrators, to give, as Dr. Donovan said, this particular class is about understanding the system and its impact on learning and social growth. So you will be very much focusing on what the state's policy philosophy is. I mean, you probably noticed that Dr. Donovan had in the learning objective, the ethic of care. So how different state really conceives or perceives the ethic of care, and that would be the comparison there. So that's Kerala. Probably half of the session would be in Kerala and half would be in Bangalore. On the right side, what you see is the map of Karnataka, and at the bottom southeast is where Bangalore is. Yeah, just little north of, yeah, there, the orange one or the red one over. Yes, that's where Bangalore is. So you'd be spending, as Dr. Donovan said, in ashram and doing a few site visits there. Next slide. Dr. Donovan, what is the duration of the program for now?
It is going to be July 30th through August 15th. So we'll fly
August
on
15th.
30th. Yep.
It is going to be 15 days. Okay. So something little bit about Kerala. The state of Kerala is the first state to have, and probably at this point, the only state to be 100%, to have the 100% literacy rate. It has achieved that 100% primary education. So everybody in the state has at least a primary education, and they pioneered and they have really established, very well established, the midday meal scheme. So this is one of those programs that really keeps low income students in school, because they are provided the meal, and on some occasions they also get an opportunity to take their meals home in the evening. As in terms of equity and access, there is a lot of emphasis on female education and female empowerment. The public school network is one of the strongest in India. So in any small town or a village, there will be a primary school, and that is a state mandate. The state of Kerala has achieved the fully digitalized educational department. That means all the records are digitalized. This is both in K through 12 and also at the higher education level. The highest gross enrollment rate. So the gross enrollment rate is the percentage of population within the college going age is currently enrolled in the higher education. The average for the country of India is 28%, whereas for Kerala, that is 44%. So it's almost like 80% more than the national average. There is a huge emphasis on access and social equity. For all these reasons, this location, Kerala, would be a great site for educational students and social work students. Next slide. So I am currently working with the Education Ministry and some of the universities. So while the program is very well structured, we are trying to negotiate with the universities in terms of how to make it happen. There will be a lot of conversations happening between Dr. Donovan and the staff and the administrators from various universities. So while we are in Cochin or Ernakulam, we will be visiting Teachers Education College. And the primary purpose of your visit to this particular teaching college would be to learn about the pedagogy, understanding the K through 12 system, and learn about the teacher education. You will be, while you're in Cochin, you will be visiting a few private schools and public schools, and also some international schools. And you would have an opportunity to spend a couple of hours with the teachers and the administrators there to discuss any questions that you may have about the philosophy of education, the system, how the teacher education works. So this is going to be, they will do a presentation, and then all that presentation would be very relevant to the coursework, and then you will have some time to discuss all the questions that you might have. While you are in Cochin, you definitely will get to visit beaches. Dr. Donovan was talking about the tea ranges, or tea garden. Yes, it's just not a garden. These are mountains across. So you'll get to go there. You'll also visit some of the historic sites, including a synagogue, which is still open, and you will also visit some wildlife sanctuary. If you're lucky, you might get to see some wild elephants. On the picture, what you see there is wild elephants. You might also get an opportunity to do some houseboat. So this is like a boat with 5 to 6 bedrooms, where you can spend an whole day or a half a day just going through the backwaters. On the right of that, what you see is the Chinese fishing net in China. This is actually a Chinese Chinese design that's been used in Kerala for almost 3,000 years. So you get to see that, and the bottom picture is the synagogue that I was talking about. So this is in Cochin, and in Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Next slide, please. In Thiruvananthapuram, while you would visit one or two schools, primarily the focus is going to be meeting with administrators, bureaucrats, and possibly the education minister. I have got some leads there. I mean, I personally work with the state of Kerala, and I kind of serve as a semi-advisory level for the higher education, but I'm also now working with the K through 12 to make this happen. So there is some level, not level, there is a good level of support from the education ministry to make this program happen. So while you are there, primarily it is going to be meeting with the bureaucrats, policymakers, and all those people. While again in Trivandrum, you will definitely get an opportunity to visit a lot of historic sites, beaches, and religious institutions. So from what do you call, from west to east, there's only 80 miles. While on the west you have the Arabian Sea, and then on the east side of the state you have the great mountain ranges called the Western Ghats. So you will get a lot of that. Is pretty much like 50 to 60 miles. That's also, it's very scenic, it's very beautiful, and the people are very welcoming, and they really appreciate us bringing our students there. So this gives an opportunity for their students and teachers also learn from you. So they are very much looking forward to welcoming you. While so on the picture, you would see one of those the temple that you see there. That is one of the richest temple, and in the sorry the that temple has underground what you call a storage where they recently found millions of dollars of worth gold, diamond, jewelries, and all those things. So this particular temple is now guarded by armed forces. On the right of that, what you see is a Syriac church, a Syrian Orthodox church. It would be very interesting for you to visit this church and know the history of religions in that area. And then the bottom picture is a palace that is currently a museum. So you will get an opportunity to see all these historic monuments and also understand about the state and how and why this particular state puts a lot of emphasis on education and prosperity.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna speak now about some misconceptions about study abroad, and then I'm going to talk about costs and then how to apply. So what I like to tell students is that there are 4 main myths about studying abroad. It's unaffordable, it's not safe, it's only for students who have honors program requirements or high GPAs, or that it's not really studying abroad, it's just, you know, a glorified vacation, right? So first things first, it's unaffordable. Not true. Financial aid can be used to study abroad. Yes, yes, yes. As this is a winter course with summer travel, if you are receiving Go Blue Guarantee or Maize and Blue, or you're a Pell recipient, okay, your scholarship for the winter term can be used towards tuition for this class, okay? Are there scholarships available to study abroad? Yes, there are. So the CGE automatically awards students a scholarship if they are eligible. How do you be eligible? You have to be in a credit-bearing UM-Flint study abroad program. You have to be making satisfactory academic progress and not have a disciplinary record here at UM-Flint. So you don't have to apply for the scholarship from CGE. It is automatically awarded to every student who is eligible for it. So with faculty-led studying abroad, there is tuition for the course. This is a 3-credit course, okay? And then there's a program fee. But the program fee is designed to be as inclusive of every expense possible, okay? Aside from tourist money. So the program fee for the India program is $3,700. Now, before you panic and think, "Oof, that's a lot," it includes your airfare from Detroit, India, and back. It includes the cost to obtain a visa to enter India. It's all of the housing and lodging while in India. It's most of your meals. So you will have to bring some money for additional meals and tourist money, but food in India is quite cheap, from what I understand. All in-country transportation, all visits to cultural sites, museums, what have you, plus travel insurance, right? So you have your tuition, you have your program fee. Financial aid can be used for your tuition, okay? Tuition is charged for the winter because you're registering in the course for winter, all right? Program fees are not due, however, until January. So your tuition for winter is due in December, but program fees won't be due until mid-January. We're going to talk a little bit more about that timeline in a moment. Are there scholarships available for the program fee? Yes, some scholarships can apply towards the program fee. One example is the CGE scholarship. So like I said, if you're eligible for the CGE scholarship, it's automatically awarded and it's automatically linked to your program fee. Now, when financial aid takes into account, okay, you're studying abroad and here's your full-time course load for winter of 12 credits or more, okay, they take into account your study abroad and your program fee. So when they assess your aid offer, okay, they're also assessing your estimated cost of attendance is including parts of the program fee, okay? So how does financial aid work? So first off, if you have any questions about financial aid in a general sense, let's say that you're thinking about studying abroad, you're thinking about applying to this program before November 10th, and you're just wondering, okay, how much Pell do I have left? Am I still going to be eligible for my, my tuition scholarship, my Maize and Blue, my Go Blue guarantee, whatever it may be? And you just want to ask general questions about what is your financial aid award looking like in general for winter, you need to make an appointment with the Office of Financial Aid, okay? Now, once you're accepted into a faculty-led study abroad program, okay, you would sign some forms that I send, and then financial aid processes the fact that you are studying abroad. Okay, what is your estimated cost of attendance considering your study abroad, and what is your aid offer now? Okay, you'll receive an offer of your estimated award package from financial aid, and then if you have further questions, you would speak with financial aid. Okay, so we tell financial aid these students are studying abroad, so now their cost of attendance is more, right? So that they can take that into consideration when making your award offer, okay? Number two, only for certain students. If you've never traveled before, if you've never left the state of Michigan, if you've never been on a plane, if you don't speak a foreign language, if you're not a Spanish minor, that's definitely okay. If you don't have a passport, that's okay. That doesn't disqualify you, okay? We also have resources here to support students who have never traveled before, okay? We have a passport grant for those who have never received a passport and are Pell eligible. We also have how-to guides on how to apply for a passport. We have a pre-departure orientation with all students who study abroad, where we go over, what to pack, what to expect, all these things, okay? So if you have questions about traveling, or let's say you have diabetes and you're wondering, how would I mitigate diabetes when I'm abroad in India, okay? Come talk to the CGE, come make an advising appointment. That's what we're here for, okay? We're here to support students, whether they've traveled a dozen times in their life or never before, okay? So this is a glorified vacation. No, I mean, you are going to be seeing amazing sights and you're going to have very unique opportunities to meet locals in Kerala, in Bangalore, and being able to network with other educators. But you are also earning credit towards your degree, okay? This is not just travel. You are taking a course in the winter term, and then travel is a part of the course. There's not one without the other. They're two pieces, okay? Then once you're back as a returnee, there are ways to articulate your experience abroad on your resume, in a cover letter, on your LinkedIn. This is something that elevates your global competency skills when you're entering the job market. It's not safe to study abroad. So we work very, very hard in the Center for Global Engagement to ensure that all programs are vetted at the highest standard of safety, okay? So we have a lot of processes that we follow and protocols about students studying abroad. We have a travel registry, we have pre-departure orientations, we provide on-site emergency support when you're abroad. We have advising about international mobility questions or identities abroad or health planning abroad or DASS accommodations and whatnot. So every destination is vetted, and we are not sending students to places that we assess are unsafe. Will you need a passport? Yes, you need a passport, okay? If you are thinking about studying abroad, whether it's this upcoming summer or a future summer, you should apply for a passport now as they're valid for 10 years. On WorldLink, we have resources on how to apply for a passport, including links from the Department of State with detailed instructions on how to apply. As also in the CGE, we have DS11 forms, which is the government form to apply for a passport for the first time that are blank. You can come pick them up for free. And then here are just a few post offices in the area that accept passport applications. So if you don't know how to apply for a passport, that's okay. We can help point you in the right direction. Do you have to apply? Yes, you have to apply, and you have to apply through WorldLink, but it's very, very easy to do. So you go to goabroad.umflint.edu, okay? You use your UMish login and authenticate with Duo. Then you complete a couple of questions and you're done, okay? So I have here a QR code that you see all across campus, all over the place. If you don't have it, you should. It's to our link tree, which has everything from schedule of information sessions, direct links to programs to apply, direct links to watch recordings of info sessions, and a lot more. So if you want easy access to all that, you can either scan this QR code or go to our Instagram page and see in the link in bio. So how do you log into WorldLink? It's very, very easy. So you're on the homepage here. There's a little guy icon in the corner. You click that. It'll bring you to this second page. It says U of M Flint students do not need to create an account. Proceed directly to UM login. You click UM login. Then it's going to bring you to the Shibboleth page. You log in with your UM Flint credentials and authenticate with Duo Mobile. There you go. You're in WorldLink. Okay. So important deadlines. Applying for the program in WorldLink by November 10th. And I'll drop a link in the chat to the application. You receive notification of whether you're accepted or waitlisted by November 17th. And then you're going to be meeting with myself and Dr. Donovan to go over next steps. Okay, what now? What forms do you have to fill out? What are the next steps? How do you register for this class, etc.? Then winter tuition is due in December. Okay. This program deposit, okay, is due also in December. So your deposit shows your commitment to the program that this is what you will be doing, okay, and it goes towards your program fee. It is a $500 deposit, and it goes towards your program fee, okay? Then in January, early January, financial aid and scholarships are dispersed for the winter term, right? And remember, if you're receiving a CGE scholarship, which everyone who's eligible will receive, okay, it goes directly to your program fee. Okay, so if you have a remaining program fee balance, sometimes students don't. Sometimes aid covers it, right? Sometimes students have only a couple $100, right? It really depends on what your financial aid situation is, right? If you have a remaining program fee balance, that would be due January 15th. Okay. Then obviously you're taking the course throughout the winter semester. Okay. And then we're having our mandatory pre-departure orientation on April 10th. Okay. Then you're traveling to India on the 30th and coming back around the 15th of August. Or sorry, July 30th coming back around August 15th. Okay. Dr. Donovan, do you know yet what meeting dates and times the class is set to meet in winter, or is that still being decided and flexible based on when the students can attend?
Flexible and based on the students. A date will go in. It'll probably be Thursdays at 5 o'clock. But we won't meet every week, and I'll get out more information. But that won't be set in stone. If I've got students that have conflicts, we can adjust. We're just really just randomly picking a day and time, just so we have something to put in the registrar, and then we can adapt as we need.
Exactly. So if you see in the course catalog that this is meeting a certain day and time, don't panic if it's not compatible with the rest of your schedule, because you all will be, comparing your schedules and seeing, okay, what day and time will you be meeting during the winter 2026 semester, right? So just remember, you're applying in WorldLink by November 10th. You'll know if you're accepted or waitlisted about a week later, and then it's off to the races starting in December, okay? And then you are going to be traveling not until July. So you're taking a Y grade, okay, in the winter term. And then your final grade for the course, the EDE 380 for 3 credits, okay, will be posted after you've finished the assignments for post-travel, okay? So if you have any questions about health abroad, identity abroad, safety abroad, and you want to speak privately, no problem. This is my direct email. You can set up an appointment with me. All right. If you have any questions, we're going to open it up for Q&A. If you're comfortable with recording the Q&A, let me know. Otherwise, I have no problem stopping the recording if you prefer that we do not record the Q&A.
Can I mention something very quickly, just so that gets on the recording for those that weren't able to attend? I just want to point out one bonus of the course running in the winter compared to it running in the summer and then doing the summer travel is that any of you that want to go on this trip and be a part of this experience, if you're already planning to have 12 credits or more next winter semester, but without this trip, let's say you're going to be full, for sure you're going to be full-time next semester, any additional credits above and beyond 12 are not the same price as they are so up to 12 credits. I think every credit costs about $560, some roughly per credit hour. But after you hit the 12 credit mark and you go above and beyond that, it drops down to about $130. So this trip, like really, as far as paying for the course itself, if you're already planning to be full-time, if you sign up for this course, the cost ends up being a little under $400 for the course itself. So that's a huge savings. I just don't want you to think that, I just don't want you to tack on that extra $1,700 for per course in your head that like a typical 3 credit course would cost. So that's all.
Yes, no, excellent point. And to remember also that, again, if you have a scholarship for U of M-Flint tuition, right? This is a course that's in the winter term. If you receive a tuition scholarship in winter terms, that this would apply to that. So great point. All right, I'm going to keep recording. If we have any questions, go ahead and you can enter them in the chat and I can read them off, or you can turn off your mic. We're happy to be here and answer whatever questions you got.
Okay. Hello guys.
So
So my question is are we able to find out like earlier before November 17th if we are accepted or not, or no?
So we have set deadlines and a timeline for processing and onboarding students. So no, you wouldn't know before November 17th.
yeah.
Okay, and what would be reasons that we get rejected?
So a disciplinary record here at the university, a GPA that's below 2.0, not making satisfactory academic progress, or having an outstanding student account balance that's above $4,000 from a previous term.
That was all I had for the recording.
Good question.
Any other questions?
I have one. So in order to go on the trip, you must take the course.
Yes, this is a study abroad. Any questions about Kerala, or any questions about the assignments or the learning goals that you may have? All right, well, if you do have additional questions, you are welcome to email myself or Dr. Donovan. I'm going to put the emails in the chat again. So thank you so much for attending. If you would like a copy of this recording, please email studyabroad@umich.edu.